Hello, students. In the last class, we did Raoult's law of vapor pressure, and according to which relative lowering of vapor pressure will be equal to mole fraction of non volatile solute. P naught, vapor pressure of pure solvent. P is vapor pressure of solution with respect to pure solvent. This is known as relative lowering of vapor pressure, and mole fraction is number of moles of solute by total number of moles. And if the solution is very dilute, NB plus Na will be nearly equal to Na, because in dilute solution moles of solvent will be more than that of solute. So this can be written as NB by Na. NB is moles of solute, that is mass of solute by molecular mass of solute, and Na is mass of solvent by molecular mass of solvent. So if we know relative lowering of vapor pressure, we can find molecular mass of unknown solute. Like suppose if we have taken a vessel, closed vessel, and this manometer is placed along with this, and we have taken a liquid and the mass of liquid is given, and if the liquid solvent is known, like if it is water, then its molecular mass will be 18, and now we have added unknown solute. If mass of the solute added is Wb, then what will be the molecular mass of unknown solute? We can find it. Before adding solute, when we have taken pure solvent, we'll measure reading in manometer, and this will be P naught, pressure of vapor pressure of pure solvent, P naught. And then in this solvent we'll add solute of known mass, and after adding solute, obviously its pressure will decrease, and now again we'll measure reading in manometer. This will be the pressure due to pressure of the vapor pressure in the solution, vapor pressure of liquid when it changes into solution. So P naught is known, P is known, and mass of solvent is known, molecular mass of solvent is known, solute we have added, so we know how much solute is added. By this way we can find molecular mass of unknown solute. So this colligative property, which depends on the ratio of moles, not on the nature of solute, whether it is glucose or sucrose or any other solute, it depends only on number, not on nature, so it is a colligative property. And this colligative property is used to find molecular mass of unknown solute. And this is one of the important method to find molecular mass of unknown solute, right? But here in this question we have taken assumption that the solution is very dilute, and we are using total number of mole as the moles of solvent. Actually, a solution will be ideal only if it is dilute, because if solute and solvent are present in appreciable amount, they may affect their interparticle forces. As in the previous lecture we did this, that it is applicable relative lowering of vapor pressure concept It is applicable only if there is no change in force of attraction between solute or solvent on mixing. That means solution is ideal. There is no association or dissociation on adding solute in solvent. So if the solute and solvent they are taken in appreciable amount, they might change their force of attraction, and in that case this concept will not be applicable. So in most of the numerical we use this formula that will take it very dilute. Suppose if we do not have this assumption and even then Raoult's law is applicable, then the alternate formula will be this: P naught minus P by P naught is NB by NA plus NB. If we write it like this, reverse किया इसको, तो P naught by P naught minus P is NA plus NB by NB, and this can be written as NA by NB plus 1. And it can be written like this: P naught by P naught minus P minus 1 is NA by NB, and this can be written this P naught minus P, then this will be P naught minus P naught minus P. P naught is cancelled, then it will be only P, NA by NB. So the final formula will be P by P naught minus P is NA by NB. And NA by NB will be the, and just we reverse it. So P naught minus P by P, but this value is not the relative lowering of vapor pressure. Relative lowering is with respect to pure liquid, where P is the vapor pressure of solution, and this will be NB by NA, and NB is mass by molecular mass, and MA by WA. But in the numerical we will not use this formula, because if solution is not dilute, A and B are in appreciable amount, then this formula is not applicable, because in that case solution might not be dilute solution and there may be changes in force of attraction, and the molecular mass which is calculated by this way will be different. So in numerical you have to always use this formula: P naught minus P by P naught is XB, and if it is dilute solution we'll use NB by NA. So you have to use this formula always, right? Now we do some of the applications of Raoult's law, and just see this question. Here a liquid is given, and these are the vapors at the surface of liquid, and the sum of mole fraction in the liquid state is 1, and sum of the mole fraction in vapor phase is 1. Suppose in the liquid state mole fraction of both the components A and B are same, 0.5, 0.5. But among these two, A is more volatile and its pressure in pure state is 100, and the vapor pressure of B is 50. Then find mole fraction in vapor phase. We did this type of questions. Let us solve this question. Mole fraction in vapor phase will be pressure of A by total pressure, and the total pressure is P naught A XA plus P naught B XB. XA and XB are mole fraction in solution form. So first we find P total. P naught is 100 and mole fraction in liquid state is 0.5. P naught B is 50 and its mole fraction in vapor phase is 0.5. So the pressure due to A is 50 and pressure due to B is 25. Total pressure is 75. Contribution of A in total pressure is 50. So its mole fraction in vapor phase will be PA by P total, 50 by 75, 2 by 3, 0.66. And rest will be the mole fraction of the other element. So by knowing Raoult's law, we can find mole fraction in the vapor phase, which is placed above the surface of liquid, right? Next is one relation between mole fraction in vapor phase and mole fraction in solution. If we take ratio of mole fraction of A and B P total will be cancelled. So it will be PA by PP. As you know, this is PA by P total and this is PB by P total. So gamma A by gamma B will be PA by PB, and PA is P naught A XA and PB is P naught B XB. We can write gamma B 1 minus gamma A, and we can write XB 1 minus XA. If we reverse it, can be written as 1 minus gamma A by gamma A, and similarly here P naught B by P naught A 1 minus gamma XA by XA. And this can be written as 1 minus gamma A minus 1, and this can be written as 1 by XA minus 1 and P naught B by P naught A. If we rearrange it, then 1 by gamma A will be 1 by XA into P naught B by P naught A minus P naught B by P naught A, and 1, it is now plus 1. This is a linear equation, y and x. If we plot a graph between 1 by gamma A y, 1 by XA is x, then it is y is mx plus c. C is the intercept. Slope will be m, and m is P naught B by P naught A, it is slope, and intercept is 1 minus P naught B by P naught A. Obviously in this case P naught B by P naught A ratio is less than 1, so it is positive. So it is one of the relation based on Raoult's law, and this is the relation which correlate mole fraction of vapor phase and mole fraction of solution. Any one can be taken. Next important application, it is the principle of fractional distillation. तुम्हें पता है फ्रैक्शनल डिस्टिलेशन में हम ऐसे दो लिक्विड को सेपरेट करते हैं विच हैव नियरली सेम बॉइलिंग पॉइंट, और इन फ्रैक्शनल डिस्टिलेशन में बार बार हम डिस्टिलेशन करते हैं. इन फर्स्ट डिस्टिलेशन जो वोलेटाइल कंपोनेंट है उसकी परसेंटेज बढ़ जाएगी, फिर उसका दोबारा से फ्रैक्शनल डिस्टिलेशन होगा, फिर ज़्यादा वोलेटाइल की परसेंटेज और बढ़ जाएगी. तुम्हें याद होगा एक फ्रैक्शनेटिंग टावर लगी होती है फ्रैक्शनल डिस्टिलेशन में, जिसमें पहले वेपर्स ऊपर जाती हैं और जो ज़्यादा वोलेटाइल होता है वो ऊपर रह जाता है, जो कम वोलेटाइल है वो कंडेंस हो जाता है, और ये प्रोसेस रिपीट होता रहता है फ्रैक्शनल डिस्टिलेशन में. और अल्टीमेटली वो वेपर्स हमें मिलती हैं जिसका प्रेशर सबसे ज़्यादा हो, जिसका वेपर सबसे ज़्यादा हो या जिसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट सबसे कम हो. सो फर्स्ट वी just I'll try to explain this question. Now in the first case, as we did earlier, both A and B are taken in same mole fraction, and P naught A is 100 and P naught B is 50, and we have find the mole fraction in vapor phase, and it was for gamma A it is 0.66 and gamma B is 0.34. If we remove these vapors and condense it, we'll get another liquid, and now this liquid will have mole fraction same as that the vapor phase of the first form, first condensate, first original liquid. This is the first condensate, first fraction obtained, and in this condensate XA dash 0.66 and XB dash is 0.344. And just compare from the first. In the first case gamma A is 0.5, but now gamma A is more in this liquid, so percentage of A increases. Obviously in the contribution or the mole fraction in vapor phase depend on two factors: how much component is present in the liquid, what is its mole fraction, as well as its vapor pressure in pure state. जिस लिक्विड का वेपर प्रेशर प्योर स्टेट में ज़्यादा होगा वो वेपराइज भी ज़्यादा होगा, और वेपराइज ज़्यादा होगा तो उसके कंडेंसेट के बाद जो फ्रैक्शन हमें मिलेगा उसमें उसका मोल फ्रैक्शन ऑब्वियसली इंक्रीज हो जाएगा. नाउ इन दिस लिक्विड A is more, its mole fraction is even more. So now in its vapor phase, percentage of A will be more than that in the first case. Again, find mole fraction of A in vapor phase. Gamma dash A will be now the P naught A, P dash A, अब जो लिक्विड सरफेस पे आया उसका वेपर प्रेशर A का और P टोटल. Now P dash A is mole fraction of A in liquid state into P total, that is 100, P naught A which is 100 divided by P total. P total में भी हम क्या लेंगे, new mole fraction into P naught A, new mole fraction into P naught B. Now this mole fraction in vapor phase is found to be 0.795, approximately 0.8. In earlier it was 0.66, now it is 0.8. And again, if we condense this vapors, the new liquid will have more vapor pressure of A than earlier. Now it is 0.8 and XB is 0.2. So if we repeat this process, at the end we'll get a fraction having 100% A. This is the principle of fractional distillation. The more volatile component will have more contribution in vapor phase, and at the end these vapors will be enriched only with A, and that can be separated. So this principle of fractional distillation is based on Raoult's law, as well as here we use Raoult's law, as well as we have used Raoult's law as well as the Dalton's law. So by using these two laws, we can explain concept of fractional distillation, right? Next topic which we'll do today is ideal and non-ideal solution. Very important concept, and listen it carefully. Raoult's law is applicable only for ideal solutions. So what are the ideal solution? First, ideal solution which follow Raoult's law. That means if we plot a graph between mole fraction and the vapor pressure, we'll get a straight line, which was given by Raoult's. According to Raoult's law, vapor pressure of any component is directly proportional to its mole fraction. So all ideal solution, they follow Raoult's law, and this straight line graph will be formed. And in ideal solution, there is no change in interparticle forces. Solute forces, solute forces, solvent forces, and solvent forces. They are of same magnitude. That's why on mixing, there will be no change in interparticle forces. If there is no change in interparticle forces, there will be no change in volume on mixing. No change in volume means, that means if we take 10 milliliter of component A and 20 milliliter of component B, the final volume will be 30. So on mixing, there is no change in final volume. But if it is non-ideal, or if there are some forces, then after mixing, the final volume may increase or decrease. As there is no change in interparticle forces, so enthalpy of mixing will be 0. But mixing is feasible. It is spontaneous. That means that delta G will be negative. Delta G is negative, that means the reaction is spontaneous. And according to Gibbs-Almol's equation, delta G is delta H minus T delta S. And delta H is 0. And delta G is negative, that means delta S must be positive. और एक चीज़ हमेशा याद रखना, एंट्रोपी ऑफ मिक्सिंग इज़ ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव, क्योंकि पहले एक प्योर कंपोनेंट ए था, प्योर कंपोनेंट बी था. मिक्सिंग के बाद वो एक मिक्सचर बन चुका है. देयर इज़ मोर अनसर्टेनिटी इन फाइंडिंग दैट कंपोनेंट इन द मिक्सचर. सो डेल्टा एस ऑफ मिक्सिंग is always positive, and positive entropy favor the process. So this is the favorable process for mixing of two liquid, right? Examples of ideal solution: all dilute solutions are ideal because one component is in too less amount, it will hardly affect the kind of forces between the solvent particles or the other component. Second, on mixing two liquids of same type, that means they have same functional group, or they have nearly same number of carbon, not more difference in the number of carbon. So benzene plus toluene, both are hydrocarbon, both are non-polar, so they form ideal solution. Methanol, ethanol, alcohol, both are alcohol, and there is hardly any difference in their properties, so this mixture will be ideal solution. Similarly, hexane, heptane, or octane, nonane mixture, all these are dilute solution. All these are ideal solutions. And ideal solutions can be purified by fractional distillation, as we just did that principle. So ideal solution can be purified by fractional distillation. When we boil such solution, then the liquid which have low boiling point, it will be distilled first, and comparatively high boiling liquid, it distilled later on. So here is the Raoult's law graph for ideal solution. So one was the type of force is same. Second was no change in volume, no change in temperature because delta H is 0. And straight line graph is formed. Here XA is 1, maximum, XA is 0. So as we increase XA, mole fraction of A, its pressure increases, and when it is highest, when XA is 1. Similarly for B, here B is 0. As we increase the mole fraction of B, its contribution in total pressure will increase, and here it is maximum, pure B. And according to this curve, A, vapor pressure of A is more, so A is more volatile. It will give more vapors, and B is less volatile. Now what if it is a non-ideal solution? If on mixing solute and solvent, two components, their interparticle forces becomes weaker. Like if suppose A and A forces, B and B forces are more than that of A and B forces. Solvent forces, solute forces are stronger than solvent solute forces. Then what will happen on mixing solute and solvent? In the final solution, force of attraction between molecules will be weaker. If force of attraction becomes weaker, then its pressure will be more than expected from Raoult's law. According to Raoult's law, PA depend only on XA, but if there is weakening of interparticle forces, it will also contribute in total pressure. So the pressure in this case will be more than expected from Raoult's law. According to Raoult's law, we'll get a straight line. But now this pressure will be more than that expected from Raoult's law. Upward curved lines will be formed. So it will not follow Raoult's law. So in case of positive deviation, the vapor pressure of the solution is more than expected from Raoult's law due to weakening of interparticle forces. And if attractive forces are weaker, there will be more expansion of liquid. So delta V will be more than 0. That means if we mix 10 and 20 milliliter both the component, the final volume will be more than 30. Because in final volume there will be less attraction between molecules. Next, delta H will be positive because some energy will be used up to weaken the force. So formation of such solution will be endothermic. In endothermic process, some heat is taken from the surrounding and we check the temperature of the surrounding. So temperature in the final state will decrease because some energy is used up in the weakening of forces. And the vapor pressure is more than expected from Raoult's law. This is an example of positive deviation. And as usual, as mixing is feasible, So delta G of the solution will be negative and delta S will be positive, because entropy on mixing is always positive. And in examples, when we mix two solutions, one polar and one non-polar, this solution will be non-ideal solution with positive deviation. Just sorry, when we mix two solutions, one one having one having polar, one is polar and other is also polar, the kind of forces between the two liquid will be weaker. Like if one is polar and other is non-polar, even then, and if one organic liquid is mixed with some inorganic liquid, again that will weaken the forces and deviation will be positive. Like check first example, alcohol and water. In alcohol there are hydrogen bond, in water there are also hydrogen bond. So if we add alcohol in water, force of hydrogen bond in water will decrease. So this will be the type of positive deviation. Similarly, CCl4 and toluene. Toluene is organic solvent, CCl4 is inorganic solvent. But CCl4 have zero dipole moment, toluene has some dipole moment. So polar and non-polar mixing will also make the final solution non-ideal with positive deviation. Third is acetone is polar and benzene is non-polar. So polar and non-polar mixing will form solution with positive deviation. Same cyclohexane, non-polar, alcohol, polar. So polar and non-polar solution on mixing form non-ideal solution with positive deviation. And listen, again see this graph. At the end of the, or in the beginning, at the end, these dotted line is straight. This graph is like this. Why? Because in the beginning this solution was very dilute because only one component was there. Even up to this, the solution can be treated as a dilute solution. Similarly, at the end, only one component is there. The other component is very less. So this solution will be dilute. So at the end and at the beginning, as solutions are very dilute, and dilute solution obey Raoult's law. That's why these lines are straight in the beginning and at the end. So is it clear? First was the non-ideal solution with positive deviation. Next, what if the forces becomes stronger on mixing? This is the case of ideal. Now the second case, if on mixing there are some strong interaction between solute and solvent, solute solvent forces are even stronger than earlier, then what will happen? Solute and solvent, they will strongly bonded and will give less vapors in at the surface. So the vapors are less, pressure will be less. So this will be the case of negative deviation. When on mixing solute and solvent, some stronger interparticle forces develop in the solution, then the vapor pressure calculated from Raoult's law and the observed vapor pressure will be less because of the strong interaction. And you will get the curve like this, downward directed. And again at the end it becomes straight because at the end solution will be dilute. So this was expected from Raoult's law, but now the actual observed pressure will be this. So if on mixing forces become stronger, this will be the case of negative deviation. And if forces are stronger, obviously some heat will release. So its formation will be exothermic. And if forces are stronger, then the final volume will be less than the sum of the two volume. Like if we mix 10 and 20 milliliter solution, then final volume will be less than 30. So there is decrease in volume. This is exothermic. Some heat will released and that will heat up the surrounding. So temperature of the surrounding will be increased. So there is increase in temperature after mixing. And obviously vapor pressure will be less than expected from Raoult's law. Is it clear? Which factor results this type of deviation? One most important factor is hydrogen bonding between solute and solvent. If hydrogen bonding, if before mixing there is no hydrogen bonding, but in after mixing there is hydrogen bonding, or if before mixing hydrogen bonding was weaker and after mixing hydrogen bonding is stronger, it will decrease the vapor pressure and the deviation will be negative. Second case, if solute ionizes in solvent and get hydrated by solvent, obviously forces will be stronger because every ion of the solute will now surrounded by solvent molecule will trap the solvent and will decrease its vaporizing power. So all acids when dissolved in water they get dissociated. So acid in water solution will always have which deviation? Negative deviation. It will have negative deviation, all acids. And when acid is added in water, some heat will release because negative deviation, a solution having negative deviation, they have exothermic process. So delta H will be negative. Second example, in chloroform there is no hydrogen bonding, and in acetone again there is no hydrogen bonding. But on mixing acetone and chloroform, this oxygen, lone pair of this oxygen, they form hydrogen bond with this hydrogen. So there is strong force of attraction. And listen, normally हम क्या कहते हैं कि when hydrogen is attached to carbon, it doesn't participate in hydrogen bonding. But here it is possible because of 3 electronegative chlorine, pulling power of 3 electronegative chlorine, this hydrogen get high positive charge sufficient for hydrogen bonding. So acetone chloroform mixture, it shows negative deviation because of hydrogen bonding. Same, acetone aniline. In aniline there are hydrogen bond because nitrogen के साथ जब hydrogen होगा then it participate in hydrogen bonding. But this hydrogen bond is weaker because with oxygen hydrogen bond are stronger. So acetone and aniline, it is again example of negative deviation. So here we did two type of non-ideal solution. Non-ideal solution with positive deviation and non-ideal solution with negative deviation. In which case our Raoult's law is not applicable and we can't separate both the components of non-ideal solution by simple fractional distillation because they form a constant boiling mixture that is called azeotrope. So next we'll do azeotropes, which are the property of non-ideal solution. Is it clear to you? Next is azeotrope. Azeotropes. Azeotrope, it is a non-ideal solution which boil at constant temperature without change in composition. इसको हम ऐसे भी एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, जैसे कि सपोज हम एक सोल्यूशन लेते हैं तो उसमें जिसकी बॉइलिंग पॉइंट कम होगा उसकी वेपर्स पहले आएगी एंड दैट विल बी डिस्टिल्ड फर्स्ट. जिसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट ज़्यादा होगा वो सोल्यूशन में रह जाएगा और जब वोलेटाइल लिक्विड सारा वेपराइज हो जाएगा तब बारी आएगी दूसरे कंपोनेंट्स की डिस्टिलेशन में. बट इफ़ द सोल्यूशन इज़ नॉन आइडियल एट सर्टेन composition, it will boil together. That means in the liquid form as well as in vapor form, composition will not change. If it is ideal, then the composition of the volatile component is more in vapors and less volatile component is more in the liquid state. But and on distillation, the more volatile will be distilled out first, whereas the less volatile remain in the flask. But if it is a non-ideal solution, then at certain composition it will boil with constant composition without change in composition. जो मोल फ्रैक्शन उसका लिक्विड फॉर्म में होगा वही मोल फ्रैक्शन उसका गैशियस फॉर्म में भी होगा। और यही रीज़न है कि हम उसको फ्रैक्शनल डिस्टिलेशन से सेपरेट ही नहीं कर पाएंगे। जो कॉम्पोजिशन उसका लिक्विड स्टेट में था वही कॉम्पोजिशन वो वेपर फेज में भी देगा, जो कि आइडियल सोल्यूशन में नहीं होता। Such solutions are azeotropic solution, and all non-ideal solution at certain composition have this property. There are two type of azeotropes. One is minimum boiling azeotropes. Minimum boiling azeotrope का मतलब क्या है कि these azeotropes, these solutions have boiling point less than the pure components. मतलब हमने दो लिक्विड लिए, दोनों लिक्विड का कोई भी बॉइलिंग पॉइंट था, पर जब हमने मिक्स किया और उनके बीच का डेविएशन पॉजिटिव हुआ और मिक्सिंग के बाद उसका कुछ एक ऐसा फ्रैक्शन होगा जिसको हम बॉईल करेंगे तो उसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट दोनों कंपोनेंट के बॉइलिंग पॉइंट से कम होगा। दैट्स वाई इट इज़ नोन एज मिनिमम बॉइलिंग एजियोट्रॉप। फॉर एग्जाम्पल 95% इथेनॉल बाय वॉल्यूम with 5% water and 95% ethanol. This composition is fixed. हम डिस्टिलेशन से इसको और ज़्यादा प्योरीफाई नहीं कर सकते। 95% इथेनॉल ऑलवेज फॉर्म एजियोट्रॉप विद 5% वाटर। एक बार ये कंपोजिशन अचीव हो गया, सपोज हमने एक सोल्यूशन लिया विच हैव मोर वाटर, हम बॉईल करते गए तो जो वाटर है, एक्स्ट्रा वाटर है, वो बॉईल होता जाएगा, बट या जो एक्स्ट्रा वाटर है वो फ्लास्क में रहता जाएगा और सारा इथेनॉल 95% जो इथेनॉल है वो 5% वाटर को लेकर वेपर्स में आ जाएगा, क्योंकि उस पार्ट का बॉइलिंग पॉइंट दोनों कंपोनेंट के बॉइलिंग पॉइंट से कम है। जो एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट है वो फ्लास्क में रह जाएगा, क्योंकि जो एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट किसी भी एक लिक्विड का बचा, प्योर लिक्विड का बचा, उसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट ज़्यादा था। लेकिन जो एजियोट्रॉप का पार्ट बन चुका है वो उसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट कम हो जाएगा बिकॉज ऑफ पॉजिटिव डेविएशन। इट विल बॉयल फर्स्ट, और एक बार वो बॉयल हो गया, उसको सेपरेट कर लिया, तो जो एजियोट्रॉपिक कॉम्पोजिशन है उसको जब हम बॉईल करेंगे तो आगे कोई चेंज नहीं होगा। जो मोल फ्रैक्शन वेपर फेज में है वही मोल फ्रैक्शन उसका लिक्विड फॉर्म में, नो फर्दर सेपरेशन इज़ पॉसिबल। और क्योंकि इसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट कम क्यों है, क्योंकि इंटरपार्टिकल फोर्सेस उनके वीक हो चुके हैं। सो दिस इज़ द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ एजियोट्रॉप विद पॉजिटिव डेविएशन, इट इज़ मिनिमम बॉइलिंग एजियोट्रॉप। सेकेंड एग्जाम्पल है मैक्सिमम बॉइलिंग एजियोट्रॉप। मैक्सिमम बॉइलिंग एजियोट्रॉप ये तब बनेगा जब मिक्सिंग के बाद उनके बीच के फोर्सेस स्ट्रॉन्गर हो गए। सपोज़ हमने एसीटोन और क्लोरोफॉर्म को मिक्स किया, उसका जो फ्रैक्शन हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डेड हो जाएगा वो हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डेड फ्रैक्शन फ्लास्क में ही रह जाएगा। जो हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड का पार्ट नहीं था, जो कंपोजिशन, दैट गोज इन वेपर्स। सो जो एजियोट्रॉप पार्ट बना उसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट बिकॉज ऑफ स्ट्रॉन्ग हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डिंग बिटवीन देम it increases, so these are known as maximum boiling azeotrops. Obviously solution with negative deviation, they form maximum boiling azeotrop. So due to strong interactive forces, attractive forces between solute and solvent, less molecule will vaporize, so vapor pressure will decrease and boiling point will increase. All acids, they form negative deviation, they form non-ideal solution with negative deviation in water. So like nitric acid, 68% nitric acid by mass and 32% water by mass, they form this type of azeotropic composition. मीन्स अगर सपोज हमारे पास 70% नाइट्रिक एसिड है और 30% वाटर है, तो क्या होगा जब हम इसको बॉईल करेंगे तो जो 68 और 32% वाला मिक्सचर है दैट रिमेन इन द सोल्यूशन, एंड द रिमेनिंग जो एक्सेस नाइट्रिक एसिड है दैट गोज इन वेपर्स। तो नेगेटिव डेविएशन में वेपर्स में कौन जाएगा, जो एक्सेस में है, और फ्लास्क में जो हाई बॉइलिंग एजियोट्रॉप है वो रह जाएगा। पॉजिटिव डेविएशन में क्या था, जो एजियोट्रॉप बना उसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट कम था, दैट गोज इन वेपर्स, और जो एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट बचा है, जो एक्सेस अमाउंट बचा है, जो एजियोट्रॉप का पार्ट नहीं था, वो फ्लास्क में रह गया। तो जस्ट ऑपोजिट होता है। तो लिसन, on boiling a solution of with the negative deviation, vapors will be rich with any one of the component which is in large amount, and the remaining liquid, which is the part of azeotrope, it will be left in the flask because it has high boiling point. So all the solution having negative deviation, they form a such composition which have high boiling point, and that's why on distillation this high boiling mixture remain in the flask, distillation flask, and the extra part that goes in vapors. Whereas in positive deviation, the fraction which have positive deviation, the composition which have positive deviation, their force of attraction will be weaker and it will be more in the vapor state, and the rest of the component in which forces they are not weaker, they remain as it remain in the flask, and the low boiling azeotrope that goes in the vapors. So this is all about azeotropes. कुछ ग्राफ्स भी हैं sometimes in the Olympiad and all. This type of questions may be asked. So just I'll explain you one of the graph. This is the graph for alcohol and water. At this point there is pure water, at this point there is pure ethanol. Pure water, its boiling point is 373, and for pure ethanol it is 351.5. This is the graph between temperature, boiling temperature. At 351.5 pure ethanol, when we mix some water in ethanol, it forms positive deviation. It has positive deviation, and its boiling point will decrease because ethanol is an organic compound and water is inorganic compound. So the R part of alcohol जो वाटर के सामने होगा, इनके बीच में कुछ रिपल्सिव फोर्सेस हो जाएंगे और इससे इसका वेपर प्रेशर इंक्रीज़ हो जाएगा और बॉइलिंग पॉइंट डिक्रीज़ हो जाएगा. सो हमने अल्कोहल में कुछ वाटर डाला और इसका कंपोजिशन ये कर दिया. मान लीजिए इस कंपोजिशन पर प्योर अल्कोहल में कुछ परसेंट हमने वाटर डाला है. अब इस कंपोजिशन, ये कंपोजिशन है लिक्विड स्टेट में. इस कंपोजिशन में एक लिक्विड है और लिक्विड की सरफेस पर कुछ टाइम के बाद वेपर्स इकट्ठी हो जाती हैं, तो इसकी सरफेस पे ये वेपर्स आई. क्योंकि अल्कोहल में वाटर डालने पर उसमें पॉजिटिव डेविएशन हुआ, तो उसकी वेपर्स में कुछ वाटर के कंपोनेंट्स और अल्कोहल के कंपोनेंट्स चले गए. ये इसका वेपर फेज़ में जो डॉटेड लाइन है ये बाद में हमने लगाई है. अभी तो हम ग्राफ प्लॉट कर रहे हैं कि ये था प्योर इथेनॉल और ये है इथेनॉल जिसमें थोड़ा सा वाटर है और उसमें पॉजिटिव डेविएशन हुआ, इसकी सरफेस पर ये वेपर्स हैं. अगर हम इन वेपर को कंडेंस करेंगे तो हमें एक ऐसा फ्रैक्शन मिलेगा जिसमें वाटर का परसेंटेज ज़्यादा होगा, अल्कोहल का परसेंटेज थोड़ा कम होगा. और जब हम इस पर फ्रैक्शन को वेपराइज करेंगे तो हमें एक ऐसा फ्रैक्शन मिलेगा, अब उसकी सरफेस पर और उसके लिक्विड में उसका कंपोजिशन सेम है और ये वो मोल फ्रैक्शन है जिस पर इसका कंपोजिशन फिक्स हो जाता है. ऑन द अदर साइड, इफ़ वी टेक प्योर वाटर एंड वी ऐड सम इथेनॉल, सपोज़ हमने ये फ्रैक्शन लिया जिसमें वाटर में थोड़ा अल्कोहल मिला दिया और इसकी सरफेस पर ये वेपर थी. ये सारा एक्सपेरिमेंटल है. ये वेपर्स थी, हमने वेपर्स को कंडेंस किया, कंडेंस करके हमें ये लिक्विड मिला. यहाँ पर ऊपर वेपर है और नीचे की तरफ इसमें लिक्विड है. ये वेपर्स है और इसके कंडेंस करने पर ये लिक्विड मिला. इस लिक्विड को हमने फिर वेपोराइज किया, फिर इन वेपर्स को हमने कंडेंस किया और फिर हमें जो कंपोजिशन मिला वो एक कांस्टेंट कंपोजिशन हुआ, जिसमें यहाँ से यहाँ हमने क्या किया, वाटर को कम करते गए, अल्कोहल को बढ़ाते गए. यहाँ हमने अल्कोहल ज़्यादा था, उसमें वाटर डालते गए और उसका अमाउंट कम करते गए. पर एक ऐसे फ्रैक्शन पर आकर इस फ्रैक्शन का बॉइलिंग पॉइंट, इस मिक्सचर का बॉइलिंग पॉइंट वेपर फेज़ में और लिक्विड स्टेट में इसका कंपोजिशन सेम होता है और उसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट उसके दोनों ओरिजिनल बॉइलिंग पॉइंट से कम है. देखो यहाँ 351 है तो पॉजिटिव डेविएशन के बाद जो फाइनल सोल्यूशन होगा उसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट अपने दोनों कंपोनेंट से कम हो जाएगा, क्योंकि दोनों एक दूसरे के फोर्सेस को वीक करेंगे। ऐसा ही नेगेटिव डेविएशन का ग्राफ देखते हैं। नेगेटिव डेविएशन में ये था कंपोनेंट ए और ये है कंपोनेंट बी। कंपोनेंट ए में जब हमने बी मिक्स किया तो उनके बीच में कुछ फोर्सेस बन गए। जैसे कि मान लो हमने ये वाला एक फ्रैक्शन लिया ए और बी का, एजियोट्रॉप बनता है इस कंपोजिशन पर। हमारे पास ये कंपोजिशन है, इस कंपोजिशन का मतलब कि इसमें ए ज़्यादा है। तो जब हम इस लिक्विड को सरफेस पर वेपर्स लेंगे तो वेपर्स विल बी रिच विद द प्योर वन, जो इस एजियोट्रॉप का पार्ट नहीं बना। जब हमने ए और बी को मिक्स किया, ए और बी के कुछ कंपोजिशन ने इस एजियोट्रॉपिक कंपोजिशन में पहुंच गया, आपस में हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड हो गए। लेकिन जो इस एजियोट्रॉप का पार्ट नहीं था, जो हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डेड नहीं हुआ, उसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट कम होगा, दैट गोज़ इन वेपर्स। वेपर्स को कंडेंस किया तो हमें प्योर ए मिला। मतलब कि अगर हम इस बीच का कोई भी मोल फ्रैक्शन लेंगे, कोई भी ऐसा सॉल्यूशन बनाएंगे ए और बी का जिसका मोल फ्रैक्शन इस रेंज में है, then always on boiling the vapors will be rich with the pure A and the remaining liquid will be rich with azeotrope. But अगर हम इस बीच का कोई भी ऐसा सॉल्यूशन बनाते हैं जिसका मोल फ्रैक्शन इसके बीच में है, जैसे कि यहीं हमने लिया, इसमें B एजियोट्रॉप से ज़्यादा है, इस लिक्विड के कंपोजिशन को जब हमने वेपोराइज किया तो जो पार्ट ए और बी का हाइड्रोजन बॉन्डेड था वो तो फ्लास्क में ही रह गया, लेकिन जो इसका पार्ट नहीं था वो वेपर स्टेट में चला गया। सो वेपर्स विल बी रिच विद बी। जब हम इन वेपर को कंडेंस करेंगे फिर उसको वेपराइज करेंगे, विल गेट प्योर बी। इसका मतलब इस बीच का फ्रैक्शन लेने पर हमें या तो प्योर बी मिलेगा या एजियोट्रॉप मिलेगा, और इस बीच का कोई फ्रैक्शन लेंगे तो हमें फ्लास्क में मिलेगा एजियोट्रॉप, बट वेपर्स में मिलेगा प्योर ए। सो एट अ टाइम ओनली वन can get in pure state, either A or B. Similarly, in the first graph, इसमें अगर हम इस बीच का कोई फ्रैक्शन लेते हैं जिसमें वाटर और अल्कोहल है, जिसमें वाटर ज़्यादा है, अल्कोहल कम है, तो इस बीच का कोई भी फ्रैक्शन लेंगे तो जो पार्ट अल्कोहल का वाटर के साथ एजियोट्रॉप बनाएगा वो एजियोट्रॉप जाएगा वेपर्स में, और जो एक्स्ट्रा वाटर है, जो प्योर वाटर है, दैट रिमेन इन द फ्लास्क। तो फ्लास्क में रहेगा प्योर और वेपर में जाएगा एजियोट्रॉप। इसी तरह से इस बीच का कोई भी मोल फ्रैक्शन अगर हम लेंगे जिसमें अल्कोहल ज़्यादा है, तब क्या होगा, प्योर अल्कोहल will remain in the flask and azeotrope जिसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट कम है, it goes in vapors। जबकि नेगेटिव डेविएशन वाला एजियोट्रॉप जो था, हाई बॉइलिंग एजियोट्रॉप जो था, हाई बॉइलिंग एजियोट्रॉप फ्लास्क में रह जाएगा, और जिसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट प्योर कंपोनेंट, जिसका कि बॉइलिंग पॉइंट कम है, वो पहले वेपोराइज होगा। तो ये कुछ पॉइंट्स थे जो एजियोट्रॉपिक कंपोजिशन से रिलेटेड पूछे जा सकते हैं ओलंपियाड वगैरह में। बट मेन पार्ट हमारा था राउल्स लॉ, आइडियल एंड नॉन आइडियल सॉल्यूशन। बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट है ये राउल्स लॉ का, और इसी की एप्लीकेशन, इसी पर बेस्ड न्यूमेरिकल्स हम करेंगे नेक्स्ट क्लास में। और साथ ही ये भी करेंगे कि अगर मान लो हमने एक सॉल्यूशन बनाया और उसमें कोई सल्यूट डाला, जैसे कि हमने डाला इसमें 1 मोल NaCl, बट ये तो इमीडिएट डिसोसिएट हो जाएगा, इट विल गिव डबल नंबर ऑफ पार्टिकल, 1 मोल सोडियम एंड 1 मोल क्लोराइड आयन। सो सरफेस पे 1 मोल NaCl नहीं है, सरफेस पे 2 मोल्स ऑफ आयन है। तो यहाँ तो 2 मोल्स ऑफ आयन से सोडियम की वजह से भी डिक्रीज़ होगा वेपर प्रेशर, क्लोरीन की वजह से भी डिक्रीज़ होगा वेपर प्रेशर। इसका मतलब कि जो रिलेटिव लॉरिंग में हम सिर्फ मोल फ्रैक्शन सल्यूट का ले रहे थे, उसकी जगह हमें आयंस का लेना चाहिए था, क्योंकि अब नंबर ऑफ पार्टिकल्स एक नहीं दो हैं। सो व्हाट विल बी द रिलेटिव लॉरिंग ऑफ वेपर प्रेशर इफ़ द सल्यूट एसोसिएट और डिसोसिएट इन सोल्यूशन। सो हमारा नेक्स्ट लेक्चर इसी पर बेस्ड होगा, न्यूमेरिकल्स ऑफ राउल्स लॉ एंड व्हाट इफ there is association or dissociation. So see you in the next lecture. Thanks students. Revise this topic properly.